Hey Monica, I'm here in my backyard and I just wanted to share with you a little bit about our garden. You can see it here. It is fairly empty, and that is because for a number of years we did plant a lot of plants back here. Jalapeno plants did really well, and other various peppers and squashes. But then we got to the point where we really needed to spray for mosquitoes, and the mosquito spray service we had, swept the entire area. And then of course, they were going to cover the garden as well. And so planting anything that we were going to eat and then get covered in mosquito spray, it just didn't seem like a good idea to have those toxins. So we stopped planting stuff. And for a number of years we did flowers. But then, life goes different directions, and it has just been a thing that we have in the backyard now that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. There was, there was definitely past tense, a blackberry bush that did really well because blackberries grow really well in Texas. And one year it came up sort of different, and we were wondering if that maybe was the blackberry bush was changing, or if it was maybe one of the jalapeno plants from the year before, because they do so well. Sometimes they drop their seeds and they'll come back the next year. But we didn't really think too much about it. And then, as our life went other directions, we just never came back here. Well, I came back just a few days ago and took a look, and there is this really large plant that has grown up. And it has these beautiful purple flowers with really thick little black and green berries on it. And I didn't know what it was, but the berries and the flowers were so interesting and beautiful that I went and looked it up. It turns out that is a pokeweed plant, and those come from birds eating the berries elsewhere, and then their droppings will have the berry seeds in it. And so that's how this plant came to be here, was that we have a lot of birds from in these trees overhead. But it turns out that this is a poisonous plant. There is a way that you could make salads out of it if you boil and remove all the toxins, but most of this plant is actually quite poisonous, and especially the berries. And it's actually really funny that, this area that's meant for gardens, that's meant for food, that we weren't able to, after a while, grow food in, because of inattention, now has this big weed in it that is not only unintentional, but also toxic. And we should probably get rid of it, although I read that it has a really deep taproot, so that's going to be difficult to dig it all out. But how many parts of our lives do we find just not being able to attend to for a while, and then coming back to see this huge toxic thing has grown up in its place? And what do you do with that, and how do you manage that? Just an interesting metaphor I thought I'd share. I'll talk to you next week.